Welcome to Downshift. My name is Matt and I'm here in Chicago spending the day with the Lexus RX450h Plus. This is the first Lexus RX with a plug-in hybrid, and it competes against big hitters, GV80s from Genesis, and of course the BMW X5 could be considered its segment benchmark. So I'm going to walk you around the best and the rest, and then we're going to go for a bit of a drive with this Lexus RX450h Plus. Now, I did mention BMW, and that's really kind of the biggest problem, I guess you could say, depending on how you determine how this thing competes. The X5 is just going to be a little bit better in some places. It's going to be bigger, it's going to be a little bit more practical, it's going to be more powerful, it's going to get more electric range from the battery, and it's going to get you more performance. The saving grace, though, the RX plug-in hybrid that we have here will start at $3,000 less than you get in the BMW. So, of course, this represents maybe a better value then. And then, of course, Mercedes has their own GLE plug-in hybrid, and that'll do significantly more range than either this or the BMW, but as you would expect, you will pay through the nose for it. But most other competitors, like the GV80, don't even have a plug-in hybrid, so Lexus will get points for this option for sure. So much so that we're planning on getting my wife a Lexus plug-in hybrid at the end of the year. It won't be this one, but it'll look very similar, so stay tuned for that. And then the trunk, as you would expect from a Lexus, it is of course powered, and it's big-ish. It's actually kind of small. This is 30 cubic feet of space. A lot of that has to do with the slopey roof line that you have here that kind of eats into the cargo space. So the truth is, it's a normal sized trunk down here. So as long as you don't stack stuff above the seat backs, you're probably going to experience a normal sized trunk like you would get from a Mercedes or a BMW or whatever. But when you do fold the seats down in the middle here, which you can do with these buttons over here, they electronically whir themselves out of the way. You're going to look at 46.2 cubic feet. Again, pretty small compared to the X5, compared to the GLE, but again, it's really how you determine how this thing compares. Now, you do have a little underfloor storage. There goes Zach in the Durango Hellcat. So you got a little underfloor storage here for your charge cables. There's a couple other things, but it is going to be probably pretty fine as long as you don't need to stack up and use the entire height of the trunk. But I do like the fact that the seats also come back up automatically. Nice touch, nice luxury touch from Lexus, as we would come to expect. And then in terms of towing, we top out at 3,500 pounds. The X5 and the GLE will tow an extra ton or more, but this is probably not a huge concern, I'm guessing, for someone shopping in this space. 3,500 pounds, to be fair, is still enough to tow a 16.5-foot Four Winds outboard, for instance, so it's probably practical enough for most people. But switching gears and talking about the good things, we'll start under the hood. Now, remember earlier in the video when I said that the BMW X5 plug-in is going to be more powerful and get you more electric range? That's true, but it's not to say that this powertrain here is bad. There's no way you could say that. Now, what you do have here is the same powertrain that you would get in the RAV4 Prime, which they're now renaming the plug-in, I think, and then also the NX plug-in hybrid. It's a 2.5-liter naturally aspirated four-cylinder, so no turbo complexity, 3 electric motors, 2 in the front, 1 in the back, and 304 net combined horsepower and 37 miles of fully electric range. That's off an 18, just about, kilowatt-hour battery pack. So that's almost 40 miles of range. That's probably enough to get you to work, maybe even work and back. Without the electric range, you're looking at 35 miles per gallon combined. That's still pretty good. That's still good hybrid numbers. On a level 2, on an Emporia like I have at my house, you'll charge this thing up in about 2.5 to 3 hours. So if you want to save some money, get one of those Emporias. I've got a link in the description that's going to save you some money. Plus, the unspoken thing is Lexus has a very, very refined hybrid system, and their reliability is likely going to be better than some of the Germans. And I'm guessing if you're looking at something with this letter on it or the Toyota badge, reliability is important to you, as it is for me and my wife. And then in terms of styling, I will say I like the previous generation look better, but this still looks pretty handsome. And what it does is it looks expensive. Now you've got the kind of bulged hood up here that kind of gradients down into your full body spindle grille with the almost floating diamonds that you get here. We've got the Lexus L signature LED runner with the triple beam LED headlights. Very, very nice, kind of classic looking. Another thing that's kind of classic and Gatsby and ornate looking, are these wheels, which look pretty cool. No F Sport for the 450h Plus, so it's not going to get adaptive suspension. It's going to be full luxury, full comfort, and to be honest, that's kind of what I want. But I want to draw your attention here because this is what my wife loves about this car, and me as well. The Nori Green Pearl. We had this in the LC500 last year or 2 years ago. We've seen a lot of Lexuses driving down the road in this and Copper Crest, and the green just looks fantastic. A lot of times it can look black, but even in direct sunlight here, you get this really rich and shimmering green. Looks really, really good. Of course, chrome wrapping into your floating D-pillar, and you've got the floating roof thing that the RX has had for a while, and then chrome down at the bottom too. We'll back up. Profile is about the same as we've come to expect. It does look a little bit shorter than you're gonna get from the Germans, which would make sense given the less cargo practicality, and you can kind of see that sloping roof line that attributes to that as well. But overall, it's a handsome look here for sure. There's that back 3/4, and then you've got these gradienting Lexus L's into your full width tail bar. Spells Lexus out, of course, and you can see that Nori Green Pearl at work again on the back. Overall, it looks good. It's a handsome car. No exhaust because hybrid, but it's a good looker. But one thing you might be interested to know, driver's side, that's gonna be your fuel door. Passenger side, that's gonna be your charger. So that's where you're gonna plug in your Emporia when you go and charge it at home to get you that almost 40 miles of electric range. Step into the rear seats, it's a digital door handle. These don't actually move. There's a little rubberized button that you press inside there and it electronically releases. Same thing here, you push that and then it unlocks and you close. That is your mechanical failsafe. But here, window shades, nice. Alcantara, micro suede, whatever, nice. Mark Levinson, very nice. Really nice, padded, rich leather. Very, very good. Everything in here feels really expensive. It feels Lexus quality, and that's what we love. You do have power recline in your back seat, which is really nice. But again, Alcantara or kind of suede lining here with really high-end leather. You do have a standard panoramic sunroof for your 450h Plus, which is great. I'm 6'1", I'm gonna sit behind myself. Plenty, plenty, plenty of knee room. Headroom. If I had my nub on, I would maybe graze it a little bit. I do need a haircut. My bushy hair is starting to feel it on the headliner, but overall pretty comfortable. You also do have heated and cooled seats in the back, which is really, really cool. Plus a climate zone, vents. You can also control, they took this from Genesis. You can control the passenger seat from back here, which is really cool. USB-Cs, pockets, all the usual stuff. Of course, there's gonna be a cup holder back here. Opa. So overall, rear seats, totally comfortable, even for adults. And then we'll touch on the overall cabin experience, the design, the materials, how it all kind of works together and functions. Starting with the seats, they're heated, they're cooled, 3-level. You also have climate concierge, so it'll read the outside ambient temperature and it'll adjust your stuff individually. That kind of, generally I get pretty hot. I'm pretty hot most of the time, so I like to have a little bit more control, but of course you can have that. But if you're a normal person, it'll adjust the temperature pretty perfectly for you. That's really nice. But the same materials, that kind of suede door card with the padded leather all throughout the cabin, really, really nice. You do have genuine wood here in your steering wheel, but it's two-tone wrapped with leather on top, which is kind of cool. It's a detail they didn't need to do, but I like it. That's what I like about Lexus. You also have genuine wood here in your little cluster, or not cluster, but your little center cubby. That's where your wireless charger is. I got ahead of myself. The seats, heated and cooled, no massage. You can't get a massage on an RX, but I guess that's okay. But the semi-aniline leather, really, really nice. This 450h Plus is only offered with the top luxury package. That's what gets you the exquisite leathers, the Mark Levinson, that suede, and the design is really well integrated and it's kind of immersive. The way it kind of bends the cabin around you, you can see that. And then it just does feel nice and snug in here, but without feeling cramped. You've got some padded area right here for your knee as you rest your knee up against the center console. The usability is pretty good. All of your climate stuff is here in the screen, but you have a physical little dial here. You've got auto settings, and this all stays here on the screen at all times. So you need to access it, change your fan speed, your heated seat, whatever. You can do that really quickly, so it's fine. It's pretty good for a screen integrated climate system. But overall, it does that Lexus thing that we always love to see Lexus do. It's great materials, it's well built, and the fit and finish is fantastic. So full points for the interior here on the RX. And as we talk about price now, a normal RX starts at $50,000. The 450h Plus here starts at $70,580. That makes it the most expensive RX that you can buy by some margin. But we did talk about some of the pros and cons with the Germans. But at the end of the day, if you want a plug-in hybrid in this class, the RX is the cheapest way to get it, even starting at just over 70 grand. So it still represents a value if you want that plug-in hybrid. And when we talk about the technology, we've talked about this in a load of Toyota Lexus videos, but we'll cover all the main stuff again. Head-up display, super well integrated. This is still working on the kind of touchless proximity stuff. So depending on what I'm doing here, it's going to show up in my head-up display. So it is integral to the functions of the car. I don't love that they kind of got away from it in the new GX, but I think it still works. It's just not my favorite application. You do have the eyeball watcher for the Lexus Safety Sense. Very, very good driver assist suite. You've got the kind of semi-digital instrument cluster here. I would like to see a full digital, but it still works pretty well. It's still basically full digital, and it gives you all the information that you could need. But jumping back out, looking at your center screen, it's the 14-inch Toyota Lexus connected screen, whatever they're calling it. Huge screen, great response, loads of features, over-the-air updates, wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto. Those are the things I really care about. You are going to have an energy flow screen somewhere in here, so you can track how the vehicle is deploying and then recouping power, which is pretty cool. You've got a little plug you can see on your passenger side and then the driver's side. But when we look above, we do have a digital rear view mirror. I know Paulo will love to see that. But overall, the technology suite, especially with the Lexus Safety Sense 2.0, its eyeball watcher, and all of the, really it's just CarPlay, but it gives you all of the things that you need. And it just works. It just works pretty well. It's well integrated and the tech makes sense. God, my voice sounds terrible. I apologize to everyone watching. This is not how my voice normally sounds. I don't think I have a cold. I think it's just that time of year. The season's changing. So is my voice, apparently. It's not my favorite thing, but it is a thing that we will live with. Okay. I don't think I have any drive modes to speak of. I do have a trail mode, which is super unnecessary, but, you know, I guess it's cool that I have it. I do have a sport transmission logic thing, which is good, I guess. Rolling Stone. Oh, hello. Yes, 304 thundering horsepower. Sorry, luxurious and conditioned horsepower. This is a Lexus after all, and the most expensive RX that you can buy doesn't get you adaptive suspension, doesn't get you F-Sport. I might like to see that. Do I need it? No, because if you guys will remember, I think it was about a year ago now, we test drove the NX 350h, so the hybrid, and that one also didn't have the F-Sport. Really love that car. Now, I don't have a lot of time with these cars today, just the nature of this event, but I suspect this drives, well, I've driven it a little bit, and I know, it drives very similar, with a similar ethos to that. Comfort and luxury above all else, and that is to say, it's self-aware. It's aware of what it is. This isn't an X5. This isn't the ultimate driving machine. This is a Lexus, and what does Lexus sound like? Luxus, which is luxury, I think, or it's supposed to be. So, not interested in 0 to 60. I mean, it still does it in about 6 seconds, so it's fine, but it's not really about that. What it is about is fuel economy and comfort. And let me tell you, I am in comfort. That's a weird way of saying it, but I'm very comfortable here in this car. The visibility is great. The steering, pretty good. Body control, yeah. But it's the powertrain. And it's the fact that I know what's underneath me is solid. This is a very sussed out system. They've had it for a while. Toyota hybrids are super efficient, bulletproof. I mean, that's what I'm looking for. Now, I'm gonna go on a bit of a rant here because basically driving impressions sum up to it's very comfortable, it's easy to drive, the end. It's got a lot of great driver assistant features. The rant that I'm gonna go on, it's become apparent to me, I've been made aware that people are out buying plug-in hybrids and not plugging them in. I cannot express to you how dumb that is. It's like paying for a first class ticket and then just going and sitting in economy anyway. Plug your plug-in hybrids in. That's the whole point. Even if you don't have a level 2, even if you don't have an Emporia like me, again, link in the description, quick plug. But if you just have a normal household outlet, plug it in when you get home from work. It's gonna be full by the time you leave the next day. It's so easy. Like, I don't understand why people don't plug them in. You're missing the major benefit. You paid more, thousands of dollars more. This is the most expensive RX. The plug-in hybrids are always the most expensive version of the car. So you've already shelled out the money. You have to recoup that now because electricity is so much cheaper than gas. So plug your thing in. I don't understand why you wouldn't do that. I understand if you don't do it every day. I get it. And that's why there's the best of both worlds thing with the plug-in hybrid. If you run out of electric juice or you just forget to plug it in, you can still get to work. You can still go on gas alone. You still get like mid 30 mpg here, which is fantastic. But it's that 37 miles of electric range. And especially like my wife, we're gonna get her a plug-in hybrid Lexus and she's gonna be able to drive it to work. They have free charging there. So she's gonna charge at my house, go like that 37 miles for, let's say, I don't know, I think the estimate was like $1, not even. And then she'll plug in at work, which is for free. And then she'll come home for free, basically. Like, it's so nice. Now, the other side of that, there's always two sides of the coin. So the plug-in hybrid is the best of both worlds and the worst of both worlds. The best is you get the electric range for most of the time, and then the rest, the gas kicks in. Great. The worst of both worlds is you have a heavier battery pack, you've got a little bit more complexity, so, you know, there's that. Maybe reliability gets pulled into question, but again, that's why you go with something like a Lexus, like a Toyota RAV4 Prime, because their system has been tried, tested, it's really dependable, and it's good. So that's my rant. It's over. Plug in your plug-in hybrids. What are you doing? Sit in first class. If you pay for the first class ticket, just do it. Anyway, the RX450h Plus, banging car. Very, very good. Could be a little bit bigger, I guess, if I'm nitpicking, but very, very solid. So thank you to Mama for having me out in Chicago. Thank you to Lexus for letting me have a go in your RX450h Plus. It's exquisite, and we'll see you in the next one.